17 days. That's how long I've had a flu. I'm alive now, so let's get right into this episode. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Before the Rise podcast. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. I wish you the best year that has come. I hope and pray that you are successful in everything you do and in every objective you have in life and every goal that you have in life and every new journey that you take. I hope all of you are successful, and I hope each and every one of you reach your goals with the right mindset, and you're also not losing a lot in the meantime while you get those goals, but you actually are able to achieve everything you want without much sacrifice. And I say this because a lot of us believe that sometimes in order to attain your goals, you have to sacrifice the world, and you don't. You just have to work smarter. And if you work smarter, you will 100% inevitably reach your goals without an issue or without any problem, because nothing is stopping you, and it's only you that's stopping you from getting to where you want. So put your mind into what you want, and I 100% agree that you will be able to make it, and there is no way that you won't. Look at David Dobrik. I just saw the video of him posting today, or I think it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And by the way, if I'm a little sniffly, it's because I'm just recovering finally from my sickness. But David Dobrik posted a video of him and his transformation in 1 year. Now, I'm not sure if he's 100% natty or not and how his body transformed, but I can tell you this, that the changes that he brought onto himself prove that if you lock in, you can definitely reach your goals, right? Whether you're going to do it in a natural way or not, you're going to get to where you want to be if you really try your best. So take that with a little bit of nuance and a grain of salt, that something for you is possible if you truly want it. Just go out there and get it. Nothing will stop you. It's the law of attraction. It's the law of magnetism. It's the law of hope. Everything that you can think of, it's there. And you just have to go out there and get it. You just have to try. Just take your first step, and then the next step, and the step after that, and it'll be perfect. Regardless of that, I did want to talk to you guys about a few things that came up in the past 2 weeks that's been going on in the world. You have Netanyahu getting prostate cancer, that they're saying it's stage 3. There is a new president that's going to be inaugurated into office very soon in California, in the United States. And with that being said, obviously they want to impeach him or get him out as much as they can. And by they, I mean people that are not liberal or conservative, but just people that are against him. And there's a lot that's going on, right? And politics-wise, that's happening. And then on the other side, you have the norovirus that's going on. And honestly, there is a part of me that I said this about a couple of months ago. I was like, 2020 was a good time. I was home. I was getting paid EDD. I wasn't working. I was just doing my own thing and honing my craft. And it was such a good time. But in reality, I hated it. And I don't want that to happen again. So I take that back. I ask God for forgiveness. Please forgive me, Allah. But I don't want that. I do not want to go through the lockdown and shut down my businesses that are just now raising up to the skies, and they're becoming something good. I have to basically put it into halt. So I pray so hard that that does not happen to any of us, because a lot of us went bankrupt. A lot of us had no money. A lot of us honestly shut down our businesses, and most of us, we lost connection with some people. Some of us had people that were close to us that passed away. So I highly caution you, if you're not careful, please be careful of, the viruses that are coming around us, and just be cautious of the fact that you might get sick. And like me, if you get sick and you get a flu, just stay away from people, right? Just do your thing and try to focus. And once you're better, then go into the world again and do what you need to do. So this norovirus is taking over the United States now, and it's gone from a epidemic slowly to a pandemic, but I hope it just stays at an epidemic slash kind of pandemic, because it's not worldwide yet to the point where it can be declared a pandemic. Regardless of the fact, this virus is very different than the COVID-19 virus, right? COVID-19 was more so like a flu virus. This is more of a stomach flu virus. And I'm saying stomach flu because it has to do with intestines, digestion, and your stomach, and vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, all these things. So this is a very different virus. And I hope I never get it, because one thing I hate is, or two things, throwing up and being constipated. If you're constipated, it sucks. And if you're throwing up, it just absolutely sucks. So either one and the holes, if they come out, I hate it. I don't want to deal with it, man. I just want to do my thing. I don't want to have to go through that kind of pain. I went 17 days. I'm telling you, I counted 17 days of this influenza A that I had, because I went to the doctors, and I felt like a truck hit me every day for the first almost week and a half, and then I slowly started to taper off the pain. And every medicine I took did nothing for me. So I can only imagine what this virus would do. I probably would, I don't want to say kill myself, but I would definitely, just hate life for sure. So please be cautious. Please, guys, just try to be aware that if you are sick, stay away from everyone. Don't quarantine yourself if you don't need to, but just try to be courteous of the fact that people don't want to get sick, right? Aside from that, we have the CEO of United Healthcare that got murdered, and there's so much going behind that, right? Although the trial has started and the convictions and all that are beginning on the law aspect of it, when we look at the ethics side of this, like, why did this happen, right? Why is it that a young man decided to go kill a CEO of a company, and how is it that it's affecting us, and what is it that it's telling us about the American society and how people view others that are in power? Because if you look at it, this is a very huge sign that we have an internal civil crisis that's going on. This isn't about black and white. This isn't about Muslim or not. This isn't about just one piece of that puzzle. This is a whole picture that we're looking at, right? We're looking at the livelihood of people being affected because of the death of one person, or of a person in power. Because you have to realize that there was something that happened to that young man that prompted him to do that. He didn't just wake up and go, I'm going to kill someone today. There is a manifesto in his head or somewhere that he wrote down that he decided to wake up and go, I want to murder a CEO of a company because of X, Y, and Z. So there was something that was happening, right? And this isn't just some normal thing to do, right? You have rappers that get shot and murdered. You have these people that I would say live that kind of lifestyle, right? Whether they're gangsters or whatever it may be. But having a CEO murdered is a different thing. And I'm not saying that I'm speaking up on his behalf and trying to back him up, but I'm trying to explain to you guys that if a CEO is getting murdered, there is something, if we look underneath the surface, that's a lot deeper than what we may think it is. And I don't want to speak vague, but what I'm trying to tell you is that there are people being affected so much to their core that they find death as the only alternative for the answer to what they want, right? So we have that happening. We have the Trump Tower, or there's the Cybertruck in front of the Trump Tower that exploded. So many things that are going on that make me go back and go, let me put my conspiracy hat on again one more time. And again, you might be like, bros, put that away. Like, you're always having that on and you never take it off. But it makes me think, what is it that the goal that is being set for us, right? Is it control that the government wants over us, or the group of people? Is it what is it? Is it the idea of that we're stronger than you being trying to being implemented on us? What is it that we need to be aware of? Because if we look at 2020 compared to 2025, there's a lot of similarities that are happening, right? We had huge fires that are happening right now in Los Angeles, over 13 or 16,000 acres of land that's still almost less than 2% of containment in Los Angeles right now that's being burnt. Like, that is dangerous, right? That's extremely dangerous. We have that. On top of that, we have people that are getting murdered. On top of that, we have the norovirus that's going on. And when we compare that to 2020, what was the similar traits that happened then, or what was the similar events that happened then? We had a virus, we had fires, we had a new person being inaugurated into office, and so many differences that were coming into play between politics, between the law, between ethics, between nature, almost even, I would say, that it's almost like it's season 2 of that same issue that we went through. And I urge you guys to look at it and say, okay, if this is happening, it's no coincidence that it's happening when someone new is coming into office, when there's a shift in politics in the world, and there's a shift in changes of what's happening in the world. So we've been kind of boiling the pot, right? The pot of stress in our life and in everyone around us. And that boiling pot is come to a point now where you have the lid and it's about to pop off, right? It's so bad to the point that we're like one event away from a world catastrophe. And this isn't to be negative or pessimistic. This is to help you guys understand that we are in a extremely unique time in our lives. We are in the very close, I would say, cliff of just jumping over and on the verge of another pandemic, of a civil crisis in the United States, of a civil war almost in a way, where we have temperaments so hot of two or three parties against each other that we're just one event away from a war. I'm telling you that, whether you believe it or not, we're just one major event away from that iceberg to tip over. That's it. And then when it does, I don't even know what will come to us, right? I can't even fathom what may happen. We can say World War III. We can say death of millions through, sickness. We can say control being implemented like, hand over lever and hand over head, everything you can think of. And it's not going to be something that will be easy on the people that are the 99 percenters, because the 99 percenters of the world are going to face the consequences. The 1 percenters won't. I promise you they won't. They always have in history been fine, and they always will be, because they're protected. They're protected in ways that it's not just money. There are goals that they have that are helping them be protected. They have connections that are helping them be protected. So I urge us to come together and put us away, like just put that feeling, that nastiness away of the division between amongst each other, because we are very, very, very close to a war that will not be contained very easily, and that will not go away easily. And I'm telling you guys this because there is not just scriptures, books that are, I would say, historically proven, right, that have shown us that war is similar like to a disease that comes every 10 decades or 5 decades or 2 decades or whatever it may be. But not only has history proven it to us, but religiously, if we look at it, there's also that sense of it where whatever religion you are, there always going to be a third holy war, and the last war is going to be a holy war. And this is just me speaking on my very limited, but I would like to say very thorough research that I have done, and the work I put into my life in the past 15 plus years of trying to understand my religion and others, that this war to come, which is inevitable, will be one that will change and shift the paradigm and the dynamics of the world, of how we see things, how we view things, and how we approach it. So there's a part of me that is kind of happy, because obviously I go, okay, like, not because of the war. I'm not happy because of the war, but because of what comes with the war, which is Prophet Isa, or Jesus, peace be upon him. Like, he comes, I believe that, and I go, okay, like, there's this part of it. We get to see a prophet, because we of the people, it's been what, 2,000 plus years, we haven't seen anybody, or let's say 1,500 years almost, because of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but 1,500 plus years almost, or 1,400 years if I'm not exact on that number, that we have not seen a miracle, quote unquote, right? Which is a prophet of God. And if we see him, that's a beautiful thing, but that comes with a lot of other stuff that we will have to endure, right? Where it's the Antichrist that comes, you have famine, you have death upon death, and so many other things that it's beyond the understanding of humans. It's very difficult. So the trade-off is that. And if we look at it aside from the religion, we look at it just historically, we're looking at how the Roman Empire fell, how the Persian Empire changed, how the Spaniards ran their crusades, and how the French ran their revolution, or just all these different like very monumental pinpoints of history happens to just show that we are very similar and we're very parallel to what they went through, and we are heading the same direction they did. So if you study history, or if you study wars, or if you study religion, you'll know that there is an inevitable war that's to come. And this isn't, again, to scare you, but this is to raise your eyebrow, to raise that, or to spark that light bulb in your head, and spark that fuse that's going to be like, okay, there is something that's going to happen. What can I do that to help myself and others, right? And you might be like, well, we can stop war. We could do this. We could do it. To be honest with you, it's very difficult. The people in power are ahead of us, and they control it. So if they want war, if the group of people that are powerful in the world want war, there's a new newsflash. I gotta tell you, me and you can't do anything about it, and we won't be able to do anything about it. So I urge every single one of you that watch this episode or watch just me in general to understand one thing that I'm telling you is that we need to come together, whether that is we have the similar beliefs or not. We need to respect one another and come together because that will prolong the inevitable war or the inevitable issue, the civil crisis that we might have, right? And it's dangerous. It's really dangerous what to come, and it's difficult. It's difficult for us to grasp the idea. For me, even because I think about it, I go, look, like there may be a problem that I inevitably can't fix, that I can't do much of to help that person next to me that I love, or myself even, right? And I think that all of us, if we actually comprehend and understand that we shouldn't go against each other, rather we should work with each other, life will go a lot smoother. And this is something that I think people don't understand because they have so much pride, they have so much ego, they have so much selfishness that they don't understand that if you step over that selfishness, ego, and pride of yours to reach a hand out and give a handshake to someone and to just be kind hearted and to give instead of expecting to take, I would say a high percentage, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, you're going to get that reciprocated back to you. If you do good, good will come back. This is a universal law, right? It's the law of attraction. It's the law of karma. It's just how it works. That if you do good, you get good back. And if you get bad, it's because you are paying back something bad you had done. And none of us are perfect. We all have done something bad in our life that may have hurt someone intentionally or unintentionally. However, we have hurt someone or something that we have to pay our deeds for. We have to do our due diligence and our dues have to be paid in order for that to come off of our conscience or the weight that we carry and the burden that we carry with our lives. So I want you guys to really, really think about the what if of what this will do to us if there is a pandemic. How are we going to help others? Are we going to go back to hoarding, toilet paper like we did in 2020 and try to basically take everything else and make money off of it, right? Where we're selling toilet paper for $15 a roll? Or are we going to say, hey, like, look, we don't freak out. We work our best together and just try to help others. And people that are ignorant, let's explain to them so they're less ignorant and they're are understanding and aware. Because no one comes out of their mom's ass understanding and knowing everything, just so you know. They learn it from somebody. They are taught that. It's through experience. Somehow, some way, they understand to be less ignorant. Nobody's a know-it-all when they come out of their mom. So help somebody. Help the person next to you. If they don't understand the crisis of the Palestinian people and how they're being, murdered, or how there's genocide happening, then explain to them without being an emotional person, without going, you support Israel, you are a Palestinian murderer, you are a killer. Stop doing that and explain to them what your side is, what your perspective is, without having to be so emotional. And we have come to a point where all media channels, all technology, all these TikTok trends, everything we see, it's glamorized the idea of being extreme, extremely loving, extremely toxic, extremely motivated to do something in life and stepping over everybody and everything and even ethically being wrong to get what you want. Extremely nasty thoughts and words that we throw out of others. Like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, your tongue can be a dagger. It is just like a dagger. You can hurt someone. Your tongue is something that is the strongest in your whole body, right? Because it's verbal. It's our tongue that we praise God to. It's our tongue that we hurt people. It's our tongue that we please others by giving them good words of contentment. We give them highly, loving words that we tell them that basically makes them feel good. It's our tongues that confesses our sins to God. It's our tongues that do so much. And if we just understand all these things that come with the power of just voice and our tongues, we would, trust me, be quiet a lot more than to speak. So keep that in mind. Push a little bit more and try to be cautious of what you say and also how you digest stuff. We are in a very super sensitive, hyper sensitive, I would say, society that everyone just gets blatantly mad at others for no reason and then get over it the next second, then get mad again. And there's so much that happens to us in a very short time span that our emotions don't know how to handle it, right? If we're facing sadness on our phone watching a dog die, and then a mom says something to me that I'm already sad and she's saying something that is going to hurt my feelings, for example, and I lash out on her because of how I feel on my phone, then I get angry and I'm taking it out on her, then she cries. Look how many emotions I'm dealing with in less than just maybe a minute. I'm sad because I watched something on my phone. My mom said something that made me angry. I lashed out on her and acted on that I expressed my anger, or I yelled at her, and that hurt her feelings. So now we have the emotion of sadness, the emotion of pain, the emotion of anger, all being comprised in just one short, brief interaction between one other person. Whereas if we learn how to control ourselves, whether we're looking at our phones, I'm not saying that we should never watch a TikTok, but if we're aware of going, okay, look, this is affecting me, but I'm not going to let it affect my relationship with somebody else. Or, hey, if something else is happening to me, I'm not going to let it affect how I view my people that I talk to on my phone or whatever it may be. Then I promise you our relationships will increase, and it would be in a better positive light. So my only urge, my only hope for you guys is please do one thing. Try to understand what you're saying to others and how you express it. And then once you have learned how to hone those emotions that you're intaking and that you are also expressing, I promise you the interaction between you and a stranger and you and loved ones and you and others that you even may hate will significantly change in a better and in a more positive light. With doing so, you will find yourself being more content with yourself and your life will become better. Why? Because the negativity will be gone, the clouded judgments will be gone from right here, and you open up that lane of success for yourself. Because remember, the only thing that's stopping you from reaching your goals, the money, the life that you want, anything you want, is not God, it's not your surroundings, it's only you. The only person to blame is you. And I say this because if your perspective is changed into a positive way, any hurdle that's thrown at you at life, any difficulty that you see or anything that you may experience, it won't be considered something that will bring you down. In fact, it will be a learning lesson that you will inevitably say, hey, I'm becoming better. So take the events that are happening in the world, right? If we're seeing a person that's being murdered, that's a CEO of a company, and understand why that may have happened to him, try to listen to both sides of the story. And the same rule applies for politics. Same thing. If you see some person that's a super liberal person versus a conservative, try to compare and contrast both ideas. And even if you believe one over the other, respect both sides. And then if you see someone in needing of help, right? Just because you're doing good and you see someone that's going through fires that have lost everything in their life, they have nothing, their homes are done, down the drain, all that. If you could lend out $5 and you got to give it. If you can donate and help, then do it. This is something that it is not bound to only a religious person or non-religious or a, you know, person that has money or doesn't. It's all about being humane. And if we're humane to each other, the success will be inevitable for all of us. And I'm not saying it'll be a perfect society, but we'll live in a more cohesive and understanding society and a more tolerant society. So do that, and I promise you, your life will get better. And I hope me bringing these things up, like all the stuff that's been going on in the world, and me sharing these different events of time and comparing it with the past and the future that may come and what I speculate that may happen based off my research and foundation of what I've seen. I hope you learn from that and you do a little bit of homework and due diligence yourself to grow from it and to help others too, so then we're not so lost as a race, and I mean the human race, when we face the inevitable problems that may come, because there will always be problems and we all know that. Whether that's now, whether that's later, or whether that it was, we can always look back and see that humankind as a race has faced issues, and the only time we've trumped over everything is when we came together. So I wish you guys all the best. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful year. And obviously, I'm looking forward for all these episodes that I'm going to throw out this year. This is going to be the full first year that I'll have episodes going completely for you guys. So there will be probably over 40 episodes this year alone. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. And there's so much more I want to share and help you guys. I'm actually thinking of probably doing some lives maybe and going on live. Hopefully, once TikTok is not banned, 1 and 2, it raises to the point where I can go live. I probably will do podcast lives where I incorporate what's being said to me and in the video, and kind of give advice, maybe do some calls, have some guests come up on here, and help people, because that's the whole goal for me, right? It's been to give speeches to you guys, to give long monologues that are conversationalists in a way, but not, rather, I would say a boring, just me talking to the camera and you not digesting anything. I want thought provoking things to be said to you guys. If you hear my stomach rumbling, it's because I'm really hungry, so I got to get out of here. With that being said, I wish you guys the best day, week, and month to come in year as well. You can also follow me at Brozy on Instagram. This episode will be live on YouTube and Spotify. And as you know, you can always watch me on YouTube and Spotify at Before the Rise podcast. Other than that, I wish you guys best of luck. Let me know what you think about what I have mentioned to you guys. Do you think there will be a World War III? If so, I wonder how it will start and who will start it. Let me know, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Take care and have a wonderful one.